Alright, so John Bonham is known as a powerhouse drummer who basically laid down the blueprint for what heavy drumming became over the decades after the emergence of Led Zeppelin, but he may have had a secret ingredient that you wouldn't expect, and I'm going to let Ritchie Blackmore tell you what that secret ingredient may have been.
I like pop music, and talking to Bonzo, Led Zeppelin, he's the same way. He was like, I said, what do you listen to? He said, pop music. I said, but you have such a great technique. You must listen to jazz. He goes, nope, pop music.
So this is a very important aspect of John Bonham's drumming, and I don't think it gets enough attention. How exactly did Bonham's interest in pop music influence his drumming in Led Zeppelin? Well, I'm going to give you some ideas to consider in a second. But before I do that, I'd like to point out that there's a new join button below. There's a lot of members-only content forthcoming, along with members-only polls and some cool perks, badges that you can get, so I hope you'll check those out. Alright, so now back to how did John Bonham's interest in pop music influence his drumming in Led Zeppelin? Well, I think it's obvious from the very first Led Zeppelin track. Led Zeppelin 1, Side 1, Song 1, Good Times, Bad Times. Basically, the hook of this song is the drum beat, and in this regard he seems to have taken some influence from Ringo Starr, who tried to make his drumming as musical and as hooky as possible. Moving on to Led Zeppelin 2, Whole Lotta Love, in the famous breakdown section, it's the drums that bring the cohesion to the song and the hook to that aspect of this rather asymmetrical, atonal musical breakdown that Page put in the middle eight of that song. Similarly, Rock and Roll, it's a drumming hook that drives that song from the very opening notes to the very ending notes. The Ocean, it's the drumming that provides the hook, the poppiness to that song. Fool in the Rain, he laid down one of the most iconic pop drum beats in history. And finally, I'd mention a song like the Wonton Song, which is a heavy rock song, but if it has any pop element to it at all, it's the drumming. That's the hook coming in, is the kick drum again, and the choice of where to put the drum fills, and the slightly delayed beat on the snare drum. Alright, so what I would point out with just these few examples is that Bonham's poppiness is a huge part of the Led Zeppelin sound, and it doesn't get the attention it deserves because, number one, Led Zeppelin's not supposed to be a pop band. Number two, Bonham is this massive, heavy, driving monster of a drummer, and so you don't expect poppy hooks to be associated with a musician of that particular type. Although this is, as we've seen with just this little breakdown, a huge part of his overall style. This is what I think, but what actually matters is what you think. So if you have a thought on this or any other topic connected to classic or contemporary music, please drop it in the section below, and remember to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot.